Good evening, everyone. It's now time for Learn to Paint with Ginger Cook on Tuesday evening. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Here we go, live with Ginger. Ginger, take it away.
Okay, hi everybody. I want to welcome you guys to this new idea we had for a live Tuesday night show, something where we could paint maybe a larger canvas. We're going to try it out, see how this works. One of the things that we like to do on our website is to really show you guys the step-by-step nitty-gritty of how to paint something. I never speed anything up. I just show you exactly how to do it. And in order for our cameras to focus, we had to put a painting behind this. What we're actually going to be painting tonight, I'm going to show you this. So we're going to take this candle painting like this small one, right? And we're going to go ahead and blow this up 16 by 20. The genesis of the painting you see behind me, I do want to point out, is a skier, and it's called Skiing Home. And this was originally painted by a fabulous Norwegian artist in the 1800s. And one of the things that our members get at gingercooklive.gallery is every Thursday they get a new release that's just for them of step-by-step video on how to paint something, anywhere from one cookie lessons, which is very beginner, to a box of cookies, which could be, oh my gosh, a box of cookies. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 cookies and so forth. And but nonetheless, you build up skills. And what we're trying to do tonight is build up skills so that, in a few months, if you've never painted before, you can get over and be able to paint this. Wouldn't that be great? So that's what I want you to be able to see. This will be released on December 31st. Will be
31st or the first weekend.
On the first, the Thursday there, okay? So I'm going to take this away. Now we're starting with a blank canvas, and you'll notice that in acrylic painting, I'm going to hold this up here, acrylic painting, you always start with the farthest thing away. Now this isn't true in watercolor, this isn't true in oil paint, this is only true in acrylics. And so if you tried those other genres, just kind of forget all that stuff for a minute and kind of go with me on this, because I'm going to show you how to do it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, you see I have a palette knife over here. I'm going to just fasten this back up here. And we're going to do the background, and I want a dark background. So John, if you can, want to introduce John Little, our camera operator and moderator, and he will be the ones that will be answering questions and also asking me questions. And so forth, and we're going to have a good time tonight. So as we paint along, we'll answer some questions. I'm going to just take a little bit of the ultramarine blue and a little burnt umber like this. I'm going to make a very, very dark color. Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. You don't have to have a big round brush. I love these big round brushes for a large canvas like this. I love these. You could do a smaller brush. You could do a brush like, say, this. This is a Ruby Satin Silver Filbert number 12. That's a good brush. What you want to have always is a rag in your hands. Whoops, where did we just drop the brush here? Oh, it's okay, I can get it. Okay. You want you want a rag in your hand. You want to wet the brush, and then you want to wipe it, squeeze it out on the rag like this. Squeeze it out on the rag. All right.
Wait. You just did something. I wasn't the right place.
Oh.
Go back and squeeze that rag again.
Squeeze the rag right here?
No, not there.
Back here. I was squeezing the rag right here. Okay. Now, did I move too quickly? I mean, we're still figuring out how to do this. All right. So, all right, now I'm going to unsqueeze. The rag has been squeezed.
Unsqueeze it? You're going to unsqueeze the rag now?
We're going to unsqueeze it. Do it
unsqueeze
again.
The rag.
What I'm going to do is I might take, this is a small water mister bottle. If you want to show that, I can show that right here, John. This is a small, this is a fine mist spray. They used to see old hairspray bottles, little tiny ones, fine mist, not a Windex thing. And I want to come around here to my canvas, and I'm just going to mist the canvas like this. Mist, 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 mist. This is a very good trick when you're trying to cover a large area. Then I'm going to just scoop up some paint like this. I'm going to start in the middle, and you'll see that I've got this nice dark color, and I'm looking at that thinking I'd like that a little redder. So all I have to do, I don't have to do much, all I have to do is just add a little Cad Red medium to this. This is something that people don't appreciate when they're painting, is they don't realize that you can change colors as you go. You don't have to do it. Now you see I'm going kind of back and forth like this. Always work your wet edges, all right? This is very important. I'm kind of googling quite a bit of paint here. And as I go out toward the outside of the canvas, I'm coming up here like this. Just turn the brush over, going back and forth like this. You can kind of see the brush strokes. This is a very fast, efficient way to do something like that. I could have used the round brush also. I might show you how to do that in a minute, but in any event, I'm just kind of going back like this. Now I could be doing this too, down and across, down and across, down and across. A couple of different ways to get paint on a canvas. But nonetheless, you want to make sure, the important thing with acrylics is make sure that you're using the wet edges. Always work out from your wet edges. Don't start here and then bop down here and then bop over here. None of that, okay? This is systematic wet edges. And I might have to take my water mister and mist again, but you don't want to oversaturate it. In other words, we don't want this too wet, and I might just miss the paint there. And I've got a palette knife, kind of a large one. We were using that last night. If you didn't get to catch what we did last night, I know it seemed very simple, you guys, but what we did last night, which I think people are going, yeah, but you just showed us how to use a palette knife. I did. Another thing you can use with the palette knife is use it as a little paint tray, all right, like that, and say, okay, so here's my palette knife paint tray. Look at that. See, I'm just taking it right off the palette knife. Then I'm not twisting back and forth over there.
Oh, here's a good
like
question
that.
for you. Hold
okay,
on
we got
there.
a question as we're going? Sure.
What's the best way to hold your brush without getting tired?
Okay, this is a really good question, John. I would say it's awfully early in the night. We don't have our dingers here, but I would say that is a question that I would give you the question of the night on, all right?
Whoa, question of the night already? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Question
We're
of the
what,
night.
5 minutes into the show?
5 minutes, but if you ask someone else a better one, we'll award them too. That is a great question, because I can't think of all the questions you might want to know. So when you ask a question that I think other people don't know, you could win. And what you have just won, my dear caller friend, is you have won a 1 week of Ginger Cook art lessons or one downloadable video, either your choice. And just go to gingercooklive.gallery and tell us which you would prefer, or maybe you want to gift that to somebody else for Christmas. But anyway, you've won a week for that. Now the question was, what is the correct way to hold a brush without getting tired? The first thing is, don't get this finger really tight. Do not tighten this finger down. Hold it loose the way we did a palette knife, between your thumb and your middle finger, and rest it. And then work from your shoulder, not from your wrist. Shoulder, not the wrist, okay? That is the absolute best way. In fact, one time, I'll tell you a true story. I was, but before I start that, be sure to tell John what your name is and everything, so he'll know that you won when you write us in on that. Okay. The true story is that one time I was painting in Houston in the mall in front of an art gallery, and I was painting a large painting. I'd been working on it for about an hour, and there was this old guy sitting on a bench kind of watching me. And I didn't think much about it because, you know, sometimes when you paint in public, you can pretty much expect someone to watch, right? That's the idea, is you try to drum up business for the gallery. And what was sort of cool about it was that finally he came up to me and he you know, he said you could tell his accent was Hispanic, and he said, I like your painting. I said, thank you. He said, you know, I've been watching you. You paint like a man. And I'm thinking, well, maybe to him that was the nicest compliment he could think to tell me. I don't know. But I said, how so? Because I was really trying to understand why that would be something considered worthy. And he said, because you never stop. He said, you never stop. Well, I found out subsequently later, this guy was some really great big deal, president of the University of Art Department in Mexico, and he had, a really big deal. He was up in Houston doing a big mural, and that was the nicest thing he could think to say to me, was that I painted like a man. And, you know, I don't know, I've watched a lot of men paint as opposed to women, right? But what I have to say is I don't stop because I don't get tired. That's what the genesis of the story was, because I'm painting from my shoulder and not from my wrist, and my arm is very loose. So it's always from the shoulder. And how I learned to do that was back when I was in the 4th grade. I was going to a private school in Tacoma, Washington called Annie Wright Seminary. And my 4th grade teacher was probably in her 70s at the time. At least she seemed like 100 to me. It was a kid, 4th grade. And what was kind of funny about it was that she taught us handwriting by doing circles on the blackboard with our shoulder, going from the shoulder. We'd go across the blackboard. We learned to do this in the notebook. This was how handwriting was taught when she was a kid. It's very rare that anybody's taught that anymore, but you'll find people in my generation, if they were lucky enough to have a teacher like that, find it very easy to paint from their shoulder, where the younger generations, they were taught to grab their wrist, their pencil really tight. Everything's so locked up, no wonder you get tired. They're just going to say. So John, what I want to do now is, if you'll notice that there's a little bit of a red kind of glow around the outside of this painting, all right? So what I'm going to do is just come right in here with the flat of my brush and some Cad Red Medium, and I want to start up here like this and make little circles.
Okay, wait.
Yeah?
Wait. You're in charge of the up and down, remember?
Oh, I'm in charge of the up and down. I could make it go up. I know how. I have arrows and everything. I'm going up. Thank you. Or I've got to go down. I'm going down. I'm a little confused about
So, and this is why we put her in charge. Oh,
all right.
well.
All right. Thank you. All right. I get it. So here's my red on one side of the brush, right? You ready for this? Okay. And I'm coming under here like this, making circles. Like
Go down a little bit
here.
more. A little bit more.
Go down. I can
Remember,
see that.
you have a monitor, so you can see.
I have a monitor that can tell you where I am. I'm going down a little bit more. Now, when I get to this part, I'm going to use the side of my brush, right, like that, and kind of fuzz this out, because I don't want a line here. I don't want any kind of line. I want this to look like the painting kind of is on fire a little bit here.
So you're feathering it in.
I'm feathering it in, just using the side like that. And I'm going to come up a little bit. That's up. I'm going to come up and let you see as I go. Now, we could have dried this, but I think it's kind of nice that we didn't. So
well, I think
I've got a little bit on this side,
blend,
like here. See here, right here on this side, and I'll come on down, and then maybe come over here. Let's see, I'll just come on down like this. Then I'm going to come up a little further. Now, what I have to do, and this is where your rag comes in, is like, for instance, here. Yeah, it might be better if you just backed off here like this. And then I'm just going to do this and feather this out using the side of my brush so that it's kind of glowy here on the sides. Then come back with a little more paint right here like that. Kind of glow this in. It's just very subtle here, just around the outside edge.
Let me just jump in for a second. Yes, this video will stay up. All videos stay up now. Can you believe it? This one will stay up on YouTube when we're done. And we have another question. I want to go scrolling back up here. Thanks, guys, for putting them in capitals. It does help me find them again. How do you position yourself without hurting your shoulder?
How do I position myself without hurting my shoulder? Well, I'm facing the camera. For one thing, I'm sitting down, all right? I'm not trying to stand up and do this. Goodness, I was doing a private lesson today, and I've been teaching this lady for about a year. She's a good friend now. We've become friends. Go to her house every week, and we teach her. And I realized that she's standing up the whole time. And I'm thinking, why don't you have a stool? Oh, do you think I need one? Oh, yes. And I'm thinking a whole year's gone by, and it just occurred to me that she needs a stool. She was comfortable with this, how she did it, but I want to sit down and want to adjust the height. You listen, here's the deal. Can I turn around and face the camera here, John? Never paint with your hand above your ear. Either stand up, lower the easel, lower something, but try not to get your hand above your ear. All the blood rains out of your arm, and you're really sorry, okay? That's just my 2 cents worth there, okay? I'm going to come up here and that. All right, so there's my canvas. All right, there's our dark canvas, and I've put it kind of light here, and it's got this sort of red glow around it. And it's very subtle. We're not trying to do anything too drastic here. I'm going to just make sure I've got this whole canvas covered in here like this. I think we're pretty good here. We've got the dark in the middle and the red on the outside. Now what we have to do is dry this. So John's going to mute my microphone and maybe tell you some announcements why I dry it. How's that, John? You want to do that? I'll start drying this.
I can certainly try that.
All right, you want to try it? Mute me.
Hold on a second.
Okay. I'll put my brush in water.
Well, hey, do you remember where your mute button is on your microphone? It's probably hard for you to do, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I have to look at it.
No, forget it, because you'll forget to turn it back on.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Oh, fine.
All right. We've turned her off. Now it's just you and me, guys. It's quiet. Somebody asked a question, does Ginger gesso her canvases before painting? These are pre-gessoed. Last night I gessoed the one that we did black because we wanted a black background. That's the only reason we got a double gesso on that. Otherwise, if they're not gessoed, yes we will, but typically it's just an underpainting like we've just done now is what Ginger does. Hopefully the microphone is blocking enough of me, or I'm blocking enough of that. let me show you what's coming up this week on our release. There we go. That's the Santa John is coming up. Oh yeah, I know, it's exciting. You guys can barely stand it. And then after that, we will be having, where is it? Foxy Lady. There you go. So that's the next two releases coming up. And let's check in on Ginger here real quick. See how she's doing. You can see an expert drying a canvas. Dryer sounds not bad. Good. I'm glad we're blocking that good enough. Any other questions? Looking forward to Santa John. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Did Ginger ever take art lessons from anyone? If so, who? Ooh, we'll have to ask her that one. And she's back. Hold on a second. I have to turn her back on.
Aha, I'm back on. Aren't I? Yes? No? Okay.
Okay, now wait. We had a question
Okay.
that I couldn't answer.
All right.
Did Ginger ever take art lessons from anyone? If so, who?
All right. To answer the question, did I ever take art lessons? I'll answer that because I'll tell you about my first serious art teacher. Okay. So first off, what we're going to do, we're going to lay this out here because we're going to lay this out and we'll chat as we go. Okay. We've got 3 candles. All right. We've got 3 candles. Once, if this is the center of my canvas, right? Which it is. I'm just sort of eyeballing it in, right? This is my center of my canvas. I would say right about, I think the top of my candle here is about, that's the flame right there. Then I'm going to come out from this like here, make a little candle. Then I need to go straight down here like that. And straight down is parallel to the sides of your canvas like that. So there's this cylinder. This is a pretty easy one right here. It's a cylinder, okay? And I want to come up about, let's see, I think I want this cylinder about this big. We can make it, we can adjust, right? I'm just sort of sketching this in, right? So that's, I think right now from the top of my flame down to my canvas, about 10 inches, I think is what I decided that this is. Now I want to come over here. There's a little flame that's going to be right here next to my, almost like a little T here. You see what I'm making, right? Next here. Then I want to come out like this, kind of come down, and then curve this.
Can you take your easel up a little bit?
I can bring my easel up a little bit. I know how to do that. Let me bring the easel up. Good point, John. See, thank you. You got it. This is what John's for. I get so caught up with what I'm doing, I forget about you. So I want to come down, straight down here.
Yeah, we're
like
just
this.
second fiddle around here.
Yeah, well, it's not. That's not true. It's just. I think I want this a little wider. So let's just make this a little wider here, like that. Move the flame over in the middle of that, okay? And say, here's this canvas. Now, the reason we're doing chalk is because you can erase chalk with just a damp rag if you've, or just a rag if you've made the point of drying it. Okay. Now notice that the bottom is curved and this top is curved like this. And we're going to say, here's the flame, like this flame. Okay. And then we've got a shorter one over here that still overlaps this canvas, and it's not quite. This is a height here, this is a height here, and this one's slightly shorter. So basically what you want to draw is a little rectangle at this point with the curve on the bottom. And I think this one's about 3 inches wide, and I think I'm going to make this one about 3 inches wide also. So it's not quite a square, little rectangle. And how tall did I make this one to the bottom of the flame was about 5, and this one's going to be about 3 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and come up on the sides here and do this little kind of curved area, and then there's our little flame, all right? So, I mean, that's really as simple as it gets, right? And then if you're not sure that you have straight lines, you can come back with a triangle like this, which is very helpful, and just sort of straighten some stuff out. That's nice. Come down, make sure it's kind of flat down here like that. We're going to just straighten this. I was pretty straight. Now, come on, wasn't I? Look at that. That's pretty good, don't you guys think? There, straight. And you want to line it up to the bottom of the canvas, straight on the bottom, and then this was straight. Look at that. Ha. Okay. So the question is, anyway, his name was Mr. Lampson, and he was my 4th grade teacher, and my first 4th grade teacher. I actually had 2. The next year I had another one. Ha.
So you repeated the 4th grade?
I repeated the 4th grade. But in all fairness, I was really started 1st grade a year early because there was a long story about that the school got bribed and everything to take me a year early. I was probably too young to go in the first place. But in any way, yes, Mr. Lamson had us outside on the playground looking for flying saucers, and he was an artist. And he, when during the Korean War, if a teacher tells you there's flying saucers, you believe it. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, I just was terrified they were just going to come get us, these aliens, or the Russians, or somebody was going to get us. There's all kinds of air raid drills going on. It was a scary time. All right, so those are my 3 candles like that. And yeah, so he was a really good artist, and he was the one, in fact, I told this story before, he's the one that named me Ginger. So I took art lessons from him. That was my first real life art teacher. And he said things like, if you really want to be an artist, you have to be able to draw an eye. And he's very dramatic, and he had this long kind of tapered wedgy thing because he was a watercolor artist, and he'd get mad, he'd break it on the desk, scare us all to death. I don't think the parents had any clue what a nut bar this guy was. And I just came home one day to my family and said, my new name is not Virginia, it's Ginger. And I will no longer answer to Virginia because Mr. Lamson says Ginger's a better name. And that was just it. He renamed every kid in the class. Could you imagine your kid coming in and saying, I'm sorry, I don't like the name Nancy anymore. I think I'm just going to be called Jill and deal with it, right?
I think that's perfect.
And everybody went along with it except my oldest brother, who thought that was the dumbest thing he'd ever heard. Until he died, he refused to call me Ginger. Just absolutely refused. It was always, what do you want, Virginia? Just he made a point of doing it. It so irritated him that I could just, at that age, decide that I no longer liked my name. This was before Gilligan's Island or anything where Ginger was a particularly popular name. Kind of got trendy at a time. It was a time when it was trendy.
We've got your palette up there. Could you reposition it accordingly?
Yeah, I'm going to put some white out here. We're going with titanium white.
Oh, speaking of colors, I'm glad
you're... We're going to get a little yellow oxide out here somewhere. Yeah, colors.
We're going to go back to your background. Could you do a red underpainting, then put the dark color on top, or would it not look the same?
Well, the question is, could you do a red underpainting, even though John's just told you? I like to repeat myself because I make sure I understand the question, right? This is kind of a leftover one. Only I heard John and you didn't. But the question is, could you do a red underpainting? Yeah, you could. In fact, there's an artist in Hawaii, and quite frankly, she just does, everything goes red first and then she paints over it. So that's kind of a trick. There's some people who believe you should start all ocean paintings out with red underpaintings and then paint them. I mean, it's a preference thing. You'd still have to do this little red edge around it, but it wouldn't look like this, but you could do it. And, there's no right or wrong to this. It's just one way to do it, okay? That's all I would tell you. It's one way to do it. Now, you can see that I want some tight edges here. I want some tight edges for my candle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just using half, inch wide artist tape.
Because you can't find your skinny stuff.
It's pretty sticky, and we've dried it, so this should stay up. Last night it wasn't so nifty keen to put it up here. Let's just take a palette knife and burnish it down. This is called burnishing. I'm not to get too technical with you, but that's what it's called, okay?
Oh, there may be a test later.
Yeah, there could be a test,
What color red did you use on your background?
That was Cad Red Medium.
Cad Red Medium.
Okay, that was Cad Red. So let's do this side. Well, as long as we've got tape out, we can do some outside ones. The thing about tape is that it's a done deal. Once you put tape up there, you better like it, because if you don't like it, there's always going to be a little ridge where that tape was. Okay?
And you don't want that.
So you don't want that. So, make sure that you've got it positioned where you want it before you start painting. Okay, so I just wanted these sides sort of straight. It always looks impressive. People always say, I can't paint a straight line. Well, yes, you can. Just have to decide how to do it. All right, so we're going to make some sort of neutral color. We've got white, yellow oxide, and Cad Red Medium. And I'm just going to take a little white here and a little yellow oxide, little white. I'm just sitting here. I'm mesmerized by the paint, right? I'm looking at the picture of the paint.
I'm thinking you're just kind of zoning out there with your...
zoning out. Well, if you've ever known me in person, if we were to go have lunch, sometimes I'll have a conversation and then just totally quit talking like I finished it with you and you're supposed to catch up. So I'm sorry if I've done that to you here. Sorry, we're going to come along here like this. Now, I did that, nothing happened, got to get more paint. Do you see that? Do you see? You got to imagine butter on toast. Well, those of you who aren't dieting, okay? Imagine butter on toast. Now, I got to tell you, I'm very proud of myself. I have lost weight since John's come down, and he's talked me into eating, fewer Cheetos and more something in some sort of
Can
food
you bring
group.
your canvas down a little bit?
I can't. Let me just lower that. Something in a food group. He calls it a, food group.
An actual food.
Actual food. He doesn't think Cheetos are the food of the gods. I'm sorry. He doesn't really understand that. But all right, I've thought, okay, I've been doing my way for a lot of years and really hasn't had great results. I guess I could try your way for a while and see what happened. And I have lost, quite a bit of weight. Let's see. I won't tell you how much, but let's see. I think about 20 pounds.
I was going to say it's about 20. It's
about
18
20
to 20
pounds, okay,
yeah.
which I think is pretty good. Not that, that's a record or anything. Now look, I'm going to come out this way on this one, and I'm just going to give myself a little room for this candle for my tape. But eventually I have to retape this candle. But I want to come down like that. Now please notice how much paint it takes to paint something like this. You see, once you find yourself doing that, nothing happens. You've got to go back and get more tape. There's more paint. There's a little hunk of paint. Never paint inside the tape. Always paint away from it. Don't shove it under, because what happens is you lose your nifty line if you don't get that burnish down. Now I'm going to rinse my brush in water, tap it up, and I'm going to sort of smooth this out a bit like that. You see that coming down? Smooth it out. So any more questions? Oh, so the question was, so that was the first art teacher. That got me going. And in fact, my mother hired him, and he gave art lessons in our house. And I got an art education. There wasn't a lot of learning going on in his classroom. So the next year I went to a private school in Tacoma, Washington. That was the Anti-Rite Seminary place where we boarded. Can you imagine? I think a little kid was boarding in school. And they then proceeded to go on, and I'm going to get a little white here as I'm talking about. And then I still took art lessons there. They had a real art place there. It was a nice private school. It really was. You could get past some of their other stuff, but it was nice. Oh, I'm sorry, John. It was a.
Okay, we won't go there.
We won't go there. I mean, just whoever heard of, we'd get clean sheets every week. The top sheet went on the bottom, and you got a new top sheet. Seriously, that's,
Well, they're trying to take care of you.
I guess they were. Anyway, my sister and I, she was 3 years older. She went there too. We both went there, but we did get educated. I actually learned to, if I hadn't gone there, I would not have learned how to write using my shoulder, which now allows me to paint using my shoulder. So I needed to go to that school. So there, I needed to go to the school. Nice people there, nice kids. Kids were all nice, no bullying, everything was lovely. Very nice. Okay, son, now this is my pretty sharp dent. Now I can't do much here. I'm going to let that sit and dry for a minute. I'm going to move over to this candle because I've already got a hard edge here.
Okay, could you take your canvas up?
Yeah, I could do that.
So we can join you?
Sure. Yes, I can do that. Look at that.
I bet you can take enough.
This is an electric easel. This is not cool easel, you guys. Now, I don't want any tape here, so I want to make sure I'm not taping this. Here's a little trick. If you have to, are you impressed?
Oh, I am so impressed.
To just clip that right up
there? A multi-purpose palette knife.
Yeah, that's how you cut tape, by the way, with a palette knife. So we're going to take this gold in here, and we're going to paint this. We've got to have a color on here. We can go up and down from this color, but we got to have a color on here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint over this like this.
Oh, wait a minute. We had an important question come in.
Oh, yeah, questions. Yeah,
John, is Sammy able to dress as a sailor yet? Lori? Of course he is. You saw him in his sailor outfit on the cruise. But right now he's in his cowboy outfit, and he won't get out of that. He's just loving the cowboy outfit at the moment. When he and Ginger did that little promo, they just he just stuck to that suit and that cowboy suit, and he's not taking that one off.
It's interesting, John.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it just has such particular likes and dislikes. I'm going to add a little
he does.
Cad red to this. Sammy is we should show people who Sammy is, so they think that we're harboring some 4-year-old up here who won't change clothes. Sorry. People are going, who is this Sammy person they are talking about? I do not understand this at all. Who is Sammy? Guys, you must tell us who Sammy is. All right, so you see I've got a little red up here just because I wanted to just kind of do that. And then I'm going to come this way with this. This little Cad Red medium. And I'm blending this in, going this way. Brush strokes mean everything, okay, like that. And every once in a while, people forget this. Your paint, the paint is drying in your brush too, not just on your palette under these hot lights. So you've got to dampen it once in a while. All right, so that's a pretty good underpainting for that one. I think I'm going to just risk it and take this tape off. Look at that. Aren't you impressed? Look at this nice tape here. Here we go. I can leave that. We'll do this one next. All right, so other candle. We're going to start here with a little bit, put a little more cad red in it because it's on this edge like that. And so far we just have, acrylics are all about layering, layering, layering. So I'm painting, you can see I'm painting pretty fast like this. And I'm happy to answer questions. So then the school thing went on.
Okay, wait. You're happy to answer questions, and then you start blabbing again, and I have questions.
Well, I'm still answering the first one, but okay.
Oh, are you?
Well, I was.
What?
Okay.
Well, you had your teacher, right? And wasn't that question, what, an hour ago?
Okay, fine. Next question, John.
Is she showing how to make straight line? Is that the purpose of this tutorial, of that tutorial? What straight line? This, I guess the tape?
The tape will show you how to make straight lines. Absolutely. That's the purpose.
I mean, that's the whole purpose
That's
of
why
the
you
tape.
use tape. Yeah, absolutely. And it's really good for buildings and windows. And if you're really clever, if you tape a window right, okay, if you're doing like a house with a window, and you had the 4 pieces of tape, if you put them on right, when you pull one, you pull them all 4 off. You got to think about that, though, when you're doing that. Okay?
That would be a guy thing, I'm sorry to say.
Now, listen, John.
I'm just calling it, we're logical.
I
All right, next question. Let's not go there.
Don't go there, John. You're going to have a revolt on your hand. Most of my viewers
I know what they are.
wouldn't find that funny.
Oh, I bet they will. Come on, they'll back me up. Come on. Sammy's on my side.
Yeah, keep it up there. Keep it up, okay?
What is the best brush to use for clouds? And you might mention that we're going to be doing a big cloud demonstration coming up soon.
Yeah, I do have a big cloud demonstration coming up soon. And the best brush for clouds is one of these round brushes, like this, but
Wait a minute.
maybe smaller.
I gotta flip you over.
Flip me over?
There you are.
Yeah, this one, like this, a big round one like this on a big painting. Smaller if you're doing something smaller. Do I have one in water here. Do I have one? Yeah, here. Here's another one, round brushes, really good for clouds.
And she'll show you that. It's
I've
quite a
got
good
some good
demo.
cloud videos on YouTube on how to do clouds. I have to say, somebody wrote me the other day and said, please make this video over. It gave me a headache. Well, that was like when we first put some stuff on YouTube, my gosh, a couple
year and a
years
half ago, yeah.
A year and a half ago, we had a very inexpensive camera. We were doing this on the budget art lesson, so the information is great, the video sucks, but you know what, you'll learn a lot and eventually we'll make that over. But if you really just want to learn and can just get over the fact that this is such a hot, well-made video compared to what we're doing now, you can learn a lot. Okay, I'm going to come back up here and
good.
work on this, like here, and put a little color here. Okay, and I want to make sure that this is curved a little bit now. The top of this has got a little bit of a curve.
Oh, here's a good question for you.
Yeah.
How do you take your paints and such on a cruise?
How do we take the paints on a cruise? Well, the thing about cruises is, for instance, we live in Houston, and so the cruise we went on was right out of Galveston, and they don't count the luggage you take. Unlike those cheapy little airline people who are now, start charging you for all the luggage. You can pretty much take the kitchen sink on a cruise and they don't say anything if you're willing to keep it in your cabin, right? And walk over suitcases. They can have it. They don't care. And so I just took a little kind of roller cart, and I liked it when I take my paints anywhere. I like to put them all in Ziploc bags. So should the worst happen, all right,
Which we hope it doesn't.
Well, one time I had some varnish spill, and I did not have it in a plastic bag, and it spilled and dried all over a zipper over one suitcase. And I got to tell you that I had to take a knife to get in there to get my stuff out and get another suitcase. It wasn't fun. So just saying.
Would it have been easier to leave the tape on when you're doing that edge like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have been easier to leave the tape on, but then sometimes people like to see at the edge what you're doing. And you don't need the tape. Tape's just sort of a crutch, but it does work.
What do you mean it's a crutch? It gives you a nice sharp line.
Well, it does. And the first time, and then you have to be careful not to tape every single thing you do, because that can get a little bit too precise, or you want it kind of painterly too. So, but I can start working my way around this candle now that I'm doing this. See, now that I've got my outline, I'm using these colors, and I'm just working my way around here with colors.
Now, I've got a question for me.
Okay.
John, why don't you back the camera up instead of making her move the easel up and down? Well, we have 3 cameras currently that we're running, and I'm at a control center, moving everything electronically. We thought that Ginger would be able to move them up and down herself,
I can.
but she doesn't pay attention. You're fine where you are on that one.
Well, I'm moving up here. You said to change. I'm moving up.
Are
Sorry.
you going to go up to the top
I'm
again?
going to move up to the top here. See? Like this.
Now, see, when she pays attention,
But I get
but
busy.
we're finding this. This is something that we're just trying. So we're still working on that. But thanks for the comment. We're still working on it. And Sammy, no holiday outfit for Sammy yet. He's got his cowboy outfit, and I don't think that's coming off.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have we gotta thank Lori Cass for the beautiful outfit. She sent the cowboy outfit to Sammy. Sammy really likes Lori. She sent him a cowboy outfit and a carrier so that when he goes places with John, he can look out and people can see him and he can wave at people and stuff. Sammy likes that.
Now pay attention to where you are in your monitor, please.
Oh yeah, good point, man. Going up or down, up. Okay. I mean, this is so easy. This is electric easel. It's not like this is tricky to do. I just have to decide to do it. Okay.
You just have to be observant.
Well, the thing of it is that here we go. We're just sort of blending in these colors, just kind of adding some stuff in here like this. And at some point, I will have to dry something. But this is sort of my underpainting for the candles. Look at that. What you got to do is that if you were really, sometimes you can take tape like this and you can say to yourself, this side's still good. So if I just stick it up here, I could still use that side. So some of us have tape hanging all over the studio thinking I can still use the good side, right? But that being said, somebody wrote the other day and said, what do you do with the tape? And what we have to do for a second here is just stop and dry this, John.
Oh, goody.
Because this is pretty tacky. At this point, I can't do much else. So we're going to dry it. So anyway, you want to put your tape in water. You want to roll it up like this and put it in water. And someone said, well, why do you do that? Well, because it loosens the glue. Because if it goes right in the wastebasket, it clogs up the whole wastebasket. It sticks at the top and you can't get anything else in the wastebasket. But you got to be careful because if that stuff goes down the drain, you're sorry. So make sure that you have its own little container. All right, so yeah, what we want to do here, and I like that you're backed out a bit here. I want to make sure I've got this top edge a little bit rounded here. I know I put it straight down, but you got to curve it a bit. All right, this top edge here like that for the candle. Make sure that that's curved. Same thing like this. Curve this. All right, good. All right, now
before you dry.
Yeah.
They asked about the brush. What's the brand of brush you're using? The sizes, those round, not that one, the round brush.
All right, I have to tell you that
the big round brush.
The big round brush I found at Jerry's Artorama. They make it, and I mean, look, it's really kind of falling apart here, But it's called a white bristle. I should put glasses on. That would be so helpful. Round Creative Mark brush number 50. And it's stiff. You don't want the soft ones. They come in all kinds of sizes. You want very stiff. It's very stiff. Very nice.
You're pushing the paint around doing these clouds.
Yeah, you're pushing the paint around. And a smaller version, 3 or 4 sizes of this is lovely because depending on this big brush would be good for a big canvas, wouldn't be good for a small one. Okay. So let me go ahead and dry this. John, you want to mute and answer some more questions? Tell them more about what we're doing.
All righty.
Ready to go?
Yep, she's muted. Okay, guys, you're back with me again. How would you pack the canvas? What we usually do is just a canvas sheet or the canvas boards. If you was going to do something big, we don't do anything bigger than like 8 by 10. This is for the cruise. When we travel, if we're taking plane or ship, that's what we use there. And let's see, John, you need a camera on her palette. Well, we have one. And here, while she's doing that, let me bring you the palette. But she doesn't do much over there. There's her palette. That's all it looks like right now. And she's just so quick over there that I can't switch it back and forth. So we do have a palette camera, but, what can I do? It's just me. I can't get Sammy to participate in this. Uh-oh, she's back. Let's bring the camera back to her, or she'll be upset with us.
I'm not upset with anybody. I think
there she is.
Cool. We're doing this at all. Come on. This is cool, you guys, isn't it? Oh, yeah, we need some more colors out here. So we need to add some ultramarine blue.
What colors?
Ultramarine
What
blue?
colors are... No, let's go... Okay, hold on a second. What colors were you using on the candle?
The candle was yellow oxide, white, and cad red medium. And now we've got some ultramarine blue. And a little dazzling purple would be great too. We want that. Where did I put that? I think I laid everything over here so I'd find it easily. Of course you did. Because that's what you do. You lay everything where you can. This is the, I always feel like candid cameras come around and play tricks on me because I look for things. Here it is, purple. One of the things I like to do is I like to put a little, on the cap, I like to put the color too, so if it's standing straight up, I can see it. Okay, so we got a little purple, a little bit of, maybe we'll put some magenta out too. Let's be the last of the big spenders and put a little magenta. I like that expression. We used to use that when I was a kid. And not very much. You see, we're not putting too much out. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the center candle. And I'm going to take a little ultramarine blue, tiny bit of cad red, just sort of dull it down just a bit. Brush in the hand, tap it off. I'm using a ruby satin silver brush here, and I'm going to come under here like this. And I'm just going to... Notice I'm moving my body, not my hand. You guys, you see I'm just leaning, move the body. It's a little trick here. I always tell people, move the body, not the hand. Now let's take a little bit of white to that. A little more ultramarine blue, kind of just tap that out there. Wipe off the extra. Now I'm going to come down here like this. We've dried this, and I'm going to start adding some shadows to this candle, like that.
Do you want to lower your canvas? I can go to the other camera.
I could lower the canvas, John. Would you like me to lower the canvas? Let me lower the canvas. Like that. I'm just going to come down here like that.
That's good, that's good.
All right, there you go, just a bit like that. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit of that purple color and a little tiny bit of yellow and a little water white. And I'm going to make kind of a gray color. I'm going to come under here like this, and this is sort of a kind of a blue-gray kind of color. It's not as bright as that other color up here. I'm going to come back here like this, down here at the base of this candle, like this. And add some of this color, and now we're going to go into some white and cad yellow medium, or rather yellow oxide and white, and come on up here.
Yes, Judy, she is using the heavy body, not the painting party paints.
I gave up on the painting party paints. I don't want to paint with it. It's hard enough.
It's just too frustrating.
It's too frustrating. I have to do that when at work, really.
They don't cover. You use twice as much, 3 times as much. It's just not worth it.
No, and again, I have to do that when I teach at, my job when I and I have to use those paints and make those work, and I can, but life is so much easier when you don't have to mess with stuff that you're not fond of. Now I'm just going to come in here and make that line a little smaller. Okay, now I'm just working on this candle right here. Get a little bit of more cad red medium right here on this edge. Now I'm going to rinse the brush because I didn't want quite that much paint, and I'll work that in because my brush is damp. See, I can just kind of blend that in here. Like that. That might be the red glowing from this candle flame that's happening. And I want it a little bit redder around here, like here, a little bit more orange, because everything's layered. If you try to do this all at once, it wouldn't work, okay? But you're layering everything, right? And we say there. Okay, so now I'm going to go move this up. We're going to go up a bit. And let's see. All right, so we've got to pretty much work on this candle right here, and I want to sit there and come in here like this. Let's see, I want a little more of that blue color and white. Now, okay, like that. I always test it I always do this on the paper because I want to test the color here. Here we go, a little bit of blue here. I want this candle to be more blue.
Here's a question for you.
Uh-huh.
You know the little sheets that you use, the 6x9s?
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep the ends from curling up?
My 6x9 sheets don't curl up because I don't use water on the paint. There's no water on paint. So if you're using water, they'll curl up. But if your paint's too liquidy, but they won't curl up, those little 6x8. That's what this one is too. Little 6x8 sheet doesn't curl. Okay. So let's see. Let's try a little.
It's the water that's causing the curling. If you use a lot of water, they're going to curl.
Yeah. You really. I don't use hardly ever any water with my colors. Now look, isn't that a beautiful color? That little bit of blue and magenta is going to come down here like this. This is all overlapping and layering. See, it's pretty, right? So this is all about color here. Now I'm going to get a little bit more white, and yellow and purple make a gray. So I want a little bit grayer color down here. You can have a green gray, a blue gray, a yellow gray, but we're sort of kind of coming down here with this candle. And I want to get this good edge down here. So let's try, you see as I'm talking about this. So anyway, so there was another question, John, you said there was?
Oh, yeah, there is. John, do you paint? I do not paint at the moment. I've been trying to, but she's keeping me busy doing the cameras and editing and all that and website. So have not had a chance to do that. And what is the trick to pinching your brush and still having paint left on it? You know, you were telling us earlier about pinching the brush and keeping and going in paint.
Well, the reason I like these Ruby Satin Silver brushes, this is a number 8, and it's a bright brush. And the reason I like it, and you want to, let me come up here, I can show you this brush, see, is I'll pinch it and I get a knife blade. I mean, look at the thin line I can get. Do you see that?
But how do you keep it? You still have paint in it.
Yes, because it's a good brush.
So the brush is what's doing it. So that's the question we're asking here.
Yeah, it's a good brush. It holds
so
paint.
The brush itself is holding the paint in.
Yes, the brush is holding paint. It's not me.
So all you're doing is you're just forming it.
I'm just forming it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just forming it.
John, did you work on a knit and crochet show on PBS? I did several things with Mark Kistler on PBS, and I think I ended up doing other things. So, yeah, my name's out there on PBS for doing filming and web work and other stuff. So we did that.
What kind of wet work? That doesn't sound good. Wet work?
Web work?
Wet work. That's a term usually used for assassins. Wet work. Didn't you know that? Wet work on PBS. Seriously, they have wet work on PBS.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
well, it is a term for assassins, John. I just hate to mention that, but it's true.
Oh, they want to name the electric easel James. James the electric easel.
James,
I'm not sure about that.
What do you guys? John names everything. I just think it's so funny. His car's got a name. His dogs, everybody has names, right?
Well, everything's got names. All my stuff has names.
And and he said, "What is the name of your car?" I said, "It's a car." I don't know, it's something. I don't know. Why do you ask? And he said, "It doesn't have a name." I said, "No, it doesn't have a name."
How can you go through life and not name your car?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never named a car in my life. Okay, I just really haven't. Sorry.
No, did. Sue, I'm not going to knit you a new winter hat.
Okay.
Thanks for asking, though.
I see. Okay, so you see, pinch the brush, and then I work this paint in here like that. Just work.
Okay, now that time you pinch the brush to remove the paint because you're going to blend it.
Yeah.
But yet, when you pinch the brush before, the paint's still in it.
Because I had water on it.
Oh, we are so confused.
Oh, I know. It's all right. It's just, this comes with practice. You know, there's an old expression, words don't teach. And there's somewhat of that sometimes you just have to do it. See, I'm using the side of this, barely touch it. Just the side, like the sound effects.
See, Sue named her car. Good for you, Sue.
All right, Sue. Well, Sue, who do we have out there? Who are we talking to tonight? We got some friends out there.
Oh,
talking,
we
right?
have 200 and some odd people.
I want to say hi to our friends that we're talking. I'm going to lower this here. I'm going to say hi to our friends.
Well, we have Gail, Lori, Sue, the D.
Oh, hi, Gail, Lori, Sue. Yeah, hi. We got any club members out there?
As a matter of fact, we have Mona.
Oh, Mona. Hi, Mona. Mona's in Sweden. She's staying up till 2:30 in the morning.
She's Sweden or Norway? I thought she was Norway.
I think she's Sweden. Isn't she Sweden?
We'll find out. Mona is awake. That's what Mona wrote. It's 3:22 a.m. And Lady White Fang
is from Norway.
She's Norway.
Yeah. Okay. And
what color is that? What color is what?
This is just white going over there with a tiny bit of cad yellow medium in it. And we're going to come over here. Let me zoom. Oops, other way. Coming up here like that. Starting to add some highlights to the candle.
Oh, Nancy's even on. Remember the Volkswagen, John, that you took apart in the driveway? Oh, yeah. And I sold it for parts. Made more on it than when I bought it new.
Well, John is nothing if not... Nancy's John's sister. The thing about having your sister on is she knows stuff about you, and she will tell. Honestly, I was shocked at what my sister told my nieces and nephews about me. I didn't think we'd lived the same life. You know, I don't remember doing half that stuff, but I was legendary by the time, they met me. And going, oh, you're the aunt that did all this stuff. I'm going, good Lord, what did she tell you? You feel bad about that. But I need a sharp line here, John, so I'm going to dry this and tape it real quick. For these two lines right here.
Where are you? Okay, there.
Right here. I'm going to just see. I've got.
Well,
this
let me zoom back out.
And you can zoom back out, and I need to tape this line, which means I have to dry it. You can't tape wet canvas, but we're pretty much done with the candles. Do you guys see that? This isn't bad. This is like not bad at all. We're almost done. You're going, seriously? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Drying?
Yep. All right, we turned it down. Suggesting putting a reference. Yeah, my particular program right now is I can't put an image within an image. I am looking at that. I haven't figured that one out yet. So we are working on things like that. Right now, if I bring an image up, it's replacing everything. But working on it. Yep, she's back. I thought we'd have more time.
Oh, sorry. People never dry enough, and you just have to take a minute and dry. It doesn't kill you, and it will just make life so much easier if you dry in between layers of things, okay? So let's see, can I take this one off? Yeah, look at that. Isn't that a great edge?
Wait a minute, something's going on.
Uh-oh. What?
Nancy's doing something. Somebody said, yes, I'll do that. That's how she replied.
Well,
Mona is Sweden. Thank you, Mona.
Thank you, Mona. I knew it. I remember these things. Okay. So.
And Lady Wolfgang is in Norway.
It's in Norway. But listen, we've got people in Europe. This is absolutely cool. When I was
at 3 o'clock in the morning, we would appreciate you guys staying up just for us.
When I was a kid, I went to boarding school in Switzerland when I was 15. That was one of the places that I did.
I like
I
that
did
blue.
paint over there. I did paint in Switzerland. And had an opportunity. The art teacher was so impressed with my artwork that she took me. We went to Lausanne. I was in Montreux, and we went to Lausanne, and we went to this big deal art school, which they only take people after they've had like 2 years of college. And I was probably 15 at the time, and I got into that school. I didn't go. I was a little trepidatious about going because of. My French wasn't that good. I'd had a year of French, but I really was terrible at it. And that was just, I really resisted French for some reason. Well, I resisted the whole boarding school thing. I was just, been there a lot. But it was a kind of a cool school. We had, anyway.
Hey, what I want you to do there, Ginger, 1 second here, is I want you to lean back so we can see the picture to the left. See, folks, there is actually a picture to the left that she keeps looking at that we don't get to see. Well, maybe she could put it on the right. Can you put it on the right? Because we could see it over there.
Sure. I just did this because it's sure.
And that way you'd also be seeing... No, not that far over. Can you put it on the wood? Yeah, well, you can even do that.
All right. How's that?
All right.
See? All right. You can see it. All right. Sure. All right. Now we need
that
a little
helps.
phthalo
There you
blue.
go.
Now we need a little phthalo blue. Sure. We can do that. I'm looking at that, right? So, sorry. Yeah, sure. Well,
we like to know what's going on too,
There's a learning curve here, no question about it. I'm in a little phthalo blue now. All right, thought I was. Wasn't that phthalo blue? Let me just double check. Phthalo blue. All right, a little bit of white. Okay. Let's see.
Looks a little light.
Okay, am I missing something? That's not the phthalo. Oh, there's the phthalo. Wow, I knew that wasn't phthalo, and it wouldn't ever be phthalo no matter how many times I touched it. And I had put it here
would not
and
change.
kept it looking there, right?
No, not automatically.
All right, so now I want to come down here and come under here like this, pinch the brush, come down here like this, and just sort of dry brush on some of this phthalo here, because phthalo is the complement of orange. And look how pretty this looks. This is what we call color surprise when you do this. You just sort of dry brush. You pinch it off and kind of dry brush this on the canvas and sort of look and maybe a little bit here too. Kind of brighten this blue up in the corner like that.
Oh, great! Where I can't see.
Oh, you can't see it.
No, forget it. I'll go to the other one.
I'm coming up here like this. Sorry, I get carried away, John. Get carried away. So anyway,
I like that blue. Fun. That blue really adds to it.
That phthalo just really adds some stuff to it. Okay, so now what we got to do is we got to put these little vines in. And I got to tell you that this particular lesson in this size is available with really detailed instruction on our website, gingercooklive.gallery, where you can play with us for a week for just $9.95, and you have access to over 200 lessons. And you can get some real detail on this if you want more detailed instructions that I'm giving you. But one of the things I will tell you to do
before you start. Mm-hmm. Why don't you adjust your here? I'm going to bring the other.
Adjust what?
Bring your easel up so we can see you actually drawing this one.
That
would be down.
Yes, I even have arrows on the pedals with arrows going up and down. So
you would think you'd be able to do that? Well.
Okay, all right. So I'm starting
there we go.
here,
That's perfect.
Right about here, and I want to just say that I've got some lines coming this way, like this, and this is my main berry branch coming like this, and this is just chalk. And I want it just, they're kind of swooping along like this, kind of off camera, see, like this. Maybe got some coming down this way. You don't actually have to connect them all. No one will know. Just, you know, something like this. Okay, like that, and then maybe curve some up like that. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Now, I'm going to rinse this brush, and I need a nice dark reddish brown. Now, I can take purple and Cad Red Medium and make a really nice reddish brown. And I could use burnt sienna, or I can just take purple and Cad Red Medium, make a very nice reddish brown. Let's see if that shows up well. Pinch my brush. Now this is why I love these ruby satin silver brushes. Look how thin my line is, you guys. Now who can take a brush like this and get that kind of, the harder you push, the fatter the line. Look at that. Isn't that just cool? Now, you know, brushes wear out, you know, but this is the absolute best. I think I want it a little bit browner, so I'm going to add a little bit of ultramarine blue to that. Little tiny bit of blue and Cad Red Medium. See if I get a little bit more brown going. I could just break down and get brown too, but I just felt like I'd show you some ways to make colors. There we go. Now I'm going to come up here like this. Maybe like blend it up here like this. And you know, just keep it flowing, okay? So if you've got a little branch coming down like this, maybe it's coming down this way. You want some this way. Chalk is sometimes can be a challenge. The reason you want chalk is it'll wipe off tomorrow. I think I'll show you some burnt sienna and show you the difference, just so I can show you. I have it somewhere. Here's some burnt sienna, and I'll show you, because that's going to be more of a reddish brown, and you know, you could use that too, and also add a little bit of purple to that and darken it too. Burnt sienna and a little bit of purple will give you more of a reddish brown color, and you may want that because of the dark background. You want, in other words, you want to make sure that you can see what what you're painting on here. Okay, and pinch the brush and then go back into the paint. So you've got a nice knife blade going here, like that. Nice.
Hey,
knife
Nancy,
edge.
no John stories.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. No John stories. You know, I'll tell you a few funny stories about myself, and my sister's passed away, so I can tell you some fun stories about her. She's not around to complain, right? And there's only one sibling left. He never watches, so I'm probably safe. My sister, you know, and I were really good friends, and I mean really, really good friends, and not so much when we were younger, because she was 3 years older. But as we grew older, we became very good friends. Now I'm using a little yellow oxide, and I'm going to go on top of this. Now you see the difference? See, I'm adding my highlight on top of these branches, not drying anything. And this is why people sit there and say, I don't understand why I can't paint something. It's your brush. Chances are it's your brush. Incidentally, one of our members wrote us today and just copied a letter that they had sent to a one of these online art companies, not going to say who, and they'd ordered a bunch of ruby satin silver brushes. They did not order them from the brush guys. I have to tell you, they didn't order them from them. Now, the brush guys are just specialized in brushes, and the nice thing about using them is that if you go to my page, gingercooklive.gallery, which they just set up for me. They did it because people kept having trouble finding the brushes. So all the brushes I use, a lot of them are there. Now, like that big round one at Jerry's, you're going to have to buy from Jerry's. But in any event, the upshot of this story was, and I'm trying to be politically correct when I tell it, is that she had ordered some brushes, and they were missing one small little insignificant brush. Okay, look, this just fell out of the pocket, so I think I'll just put that there. And so her whole $200 brush order was being held up, and they didn't know when they were going to get the other one in stock, and they wouldn't release the other brushes to her. And they had a policy of unless it was unless it was what was ordered on order was over $35. They would not release the rest of your order. So all I'm telling you the story is about, please check the fine print when you're ordering online from somebody, because if you've ordered, say $200 worth of paint, and you're waiting for a 5-cent eraser, and they don't have the eraser, you're not getting, in some companies, you're not getting your stuff, and they're not going to refund your money, and there you are. Well, I thought that was just outrageously awful, so I felt like I had to share it with you. And I just have felt the reason I like the brush guys is that they'll send to Canada, they'll send to to Sweden. They'll send to Europe. They have just overseas prices, and they're very reasonable. And I really like them. Again, you can just use the code GingerCook, and you get a 5% discount, which I thought was pretty nice, which kind of helps with the shipping. Because I'm one of these people who hate to pay shipping on anything. I really don't want to see the bottom of this, so I'm going to do that. And again, there's something to be said for being able to just go into an art store and just buy what you want. The problem is you can't always. Does that make sense? Sometimes you just need to have stuff that no one carries. And these, all the major companies carry ruby satin silver brushes. These have been around for a long time. I really like them. And people have asked about them. All right, let's just kind of curl one up like this. Maybe do a little kind of curl. Do you see how we're just kind of coming up on our branches down here? Now I'm just adding some. Just coming in here with maybe some brown. I'm just adding some more little branches down here like this. I want this pretty full here. Our little holly stuff, right? Our little berries. Okay, now I want to dry this one more time, John.
Okay.
And when I do that,
then you're going to come back and do the berries?
then we'll come back and do the berries. And don't you think this is a cool picture? I mean,
Well, I'm gonna
I have
back
to
out
do the
here.
candles. Well, you know what? Instead of doing that, let's just lower this. We'll let that dry, okay?
I backed you out so you can...
And let's come back up here and do the candles. So
Okay, you're going to go all the way up to the top?
we're going to go all the way
Let
up
me
to
give
the
you that
top.
because you got more to go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right. Just go there.
All right. The first thing I'm going to do is use that round brush I showed you. It's been in water, so you want to wipe it off. And we're going to make the candle flame. So we need Cad Yellow Medium and a Cad Red Medium. Okay, and we needed about a fourth of that much.
I was going to say, that's...
Well, but you can't get it back in the tube, so just don't do what I just did, okay? All right, now I've got it. Now, and here it is on the brush, somewhere on the brush, right like this. And I'm going to wipe it off, and I'm going to take this brush like this, and I'm going to come up here like this, and I'm going to wiggle.
So you're putting the glow on first.
I put the glow on first. The glow's going on first. Now, the brush was a little wet. It's not perfect, so here we go. Here's the Cad Red now. Glow's going on first. You can even use your finger like this. Glow's going on first. You want it all fuzzy on the outside edge. Okay, like that. And glows. Glow's going up here like this. Ooh, and I'm going to take some of this color now, and I'm going to go around the outside edge and do another little coat too. I can do that too when I've got this color up here like that. This, I shouldn't have wet this brush because it makes it very challenging now to do anything with it. Have you ever said that? I wash my hair and I can't do a thing with it. I wash my brush and I can't do a thing with it. Here we're gonna go. See, this is too soft now. All right, we're gonna change brushes. This is a ruby satin silver. I'm gonna come down here and do this because it was too stiff. You know, so it can come up here a little bit. I just wanted a little bit more. You know, the next layer of kind of this light kind of red color coming around here like that.
Kind of
Now,
brighten it
let's
up a little bit, frame it a little more.
I'm going to frame it a little more, and I want to take it and put a glow on this candle.
Okay, wait. You need to go up a little bit to go to that candle.
I can do that. Here, right about here.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm just going to come up here like this.
Now you keep wiping it off, right?
Yeah, keep wiping it off. Just keep wiping that brush off, and you're pushing pretty hard. And I'm using the side of an old ruby satin silver that's seen better days. I never throw these things out. I mean, they do wear out, you know. I'll come over here and do the same thing, like this, little glow. Ooh, fun. I actually have a little video on YouTube on just how to do the glow on these candles. If you happen to see that, I did that last year, but I'm showing you how to do the whole painting. But again, if you want more detail, you know, watch this small video I did of this. It's really very detailed, okay? Over on our website. So you can always get more information. All right, so there's that. Now, I think I could go up to the top of this one and I lower this. And let me, because I had so much water on the brush, that's not happy. So what I'm going to do is just dry this real quick, all right?
Go ahead. A quick drying to put the flame on. What color was the glow? I'll ask her that. I think it was the Cad. What color was your glow?
Just a Cad Red Medium and yellow. Cad Yellow Medium. And then I went back to, there you go. So it's got a little bit of yellow in it, and way much less yellow. I didn't need to put anywhere near. I'm going to just exaggerate that. There you go. There's my glow. All right, so there's that, right? And then I'm going to come along here and add a little, let me lower this, oh, up, got to go up. Just coming along here, I'm going to say that this candle is glowing here because of this one right here. So I'm going to exaggerate that. And maybe right over here, I'm going to exaggerate it right here because this candle may be glowing on, here. See my thinking on that? Why this might be redder. Okay, so while that's drying, let's put the berries in. Let's go up, up, up. Let's go up, 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 and put the berries. What are we going to put those in? All right, so we're going to use a smaller brush.
Right there.
We're going to use a smaller brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to get some Naphthol Crimson out, which is your primary red. Like that. I'm just going to put some, and not very much. We need very little for this. I'm going to show you. It's primary red. Cad red medium is an orange red. We're going to do Naphthol Crimson. Magenta is sort of a, is really more of a violet. So let's take the Cad red medium, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to just start using the corner of this little angle brush. I'm using just the top piece of this, and I'm going to come along here like this. And I'm going to just make little, I start in the center and then just make a little circle. You just start and spin the brush around in a circle. This is the trick. And you want to go over the wood like that. I'm going to come up here like that. And just try to do clusters of 3 if you can. Clusters of 3. This isn't freckles. I know that you sort of get 3, 5, 9 odd numbers. To make this picture look pretty good, it needs a lot of berries. And the berries are good, particularly if you want to flub the candle up somewhere. You can add a few berries too. That's a good one. Now, and be sure to come back and get plenty of paint, because if you start to run out of paint, then it's just kind of pointless. All right.
Could you use a round brush for those berries?
Could you use a round brush? I wouldn't use a round brush for the berries. I never use round brushes. Could you like a little round brush? Like, do I even have one here? Well, I don't have one out, so yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could. It would take me much longer to do a brown brush with the berries than this one.
Because basically you're just using the tip of that, aren't you?
I'm just using the corner and then just sort of pushing it and spinning it a little.
Bringing it around. Just
some berries should be bigger than others. They're all not the same size. So they should touch. Some of these should touch. If you looked at a berry branch, actually this was a real photo. If you looked at a berry branch, that some of these things touch, which is interesting. I mean, they're touching, and then there's some spaces in some, but they're sort of cluster, 5, 7, 9. Kind of get that a little bit, like that. Now, if you've dried it really well before you start this berry journey, I'm going to come up here and start up here a little bit. If you've dried it, then if you get a berry that wasn't so perfect, you can wipe it off without wiping off the branch, too.
Because you saved it.
Because you saved it. This drying is, John made a good point last month. He said drying is like your save as button, all right? That is your save as button. And in drying, you can't dry enough. And sometimes you can do an underpainting and just walk away, come back the next day, and it's really good. And I tell people I've actually had instances where I have been so upset with whatever I was painting that I've taken the whole painting over to the kitchen sink and just sprayed it with the hose and washed off the current, whatever it was I hated at the moment, and want some sort of artistic fit. We all have them, okay? And it's okay if you have them too. Not every painting goes perfectly, all right? And if you've dried it well, and it's been dry, the underpainting just stays there. So, you can't do that with oils, can't do that with watercolor. I tell you, acrylics are the brush for the person, are absolutely the medium for people who like to change their mind. Really, truly. So I'll answer some more questions, John. Happy to do that.
We've got one right here. On the middle candle, the gray towards the bottom, is that purple and yellow mix?
Yes, it is purple and yellow mix.
See, we're paying attention.
With a little bit of white.
Touch of white to lighten it up.
And I'm adding some Cad red medium to my red now down here, brightening the ones up in front. That's a little trick too. I'm adding a little Cad red medium to the closer ones, and brightening these up, and then the regular red to the ones that are farther behind. Little trick.
Since you're not a big fan of the round brushes, what are they good for?
Well, the problem with them, I think, for instance, in watercolor and in oil painting, you can make them work. It's very hard because of the way acrylics don't flow well. I have some tiny little round brushes, some tiny ones, that for signing your name and stuff like that. They don't generally. I say this. I haven't found they wear out quickly, and I mean, I do. They're nice for signing your name and certain. I don't know, certain details. They can be a detail brush for sure. Okay, for sure. You can have these as a detail brush. Go back with a little red back here. Okay, come back here with the red.
Another question: will there be a Hanukkah painting?
Will there be a Hanukkah painting? Well, I hadn't planned on a Hanukkah painting. I really hadn't. I guess there could have been a Hanukkah painting, but you needed to mention that to me last month. I'm not against having a Hanukkah painting, but it didn't occur to me to do one, and I barely got the Santa one out. Okay? I'm always a little bit behind on the holidays. The time to do all of these paintings would have been last month, and I'm still doing turkeys last month. So
time to be doing these would have been in July.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's probably true. So you had plenty of time to practice with this, but I'm excited about that portrait we've got for our members next week, gingercooklive.gallery. I love it that our members are getting bigger canvases now, bigger paintings for the weekly releases. We still have a lot of 6x8 ones and back to basics, but we have over 200 lessons, so now we're really getting down in here and we're really making some fantastic paintings, and I think really, really excellent stuff. And wonderful lessons, and they get explained. You follow along every brushstroke, and I, do a lot of just talking about these kinds of things and exactly why we're doing it. But what's helpful about a live class like this is you will ask a question that I would not think to mention, and I really appreciate that. And I think it's fun to get together, meet all the guys online that are painting with you, and if you go to our Facebook page, GingerCook92. People will be sharing artwork that they've painted. Generally, I only put up on my Facebook page artwork from either my classes or on the online YouTube classes. I generally don't feature art that's, even if you tag me, I won't put it up on I want to feature the stuff that you guys are either learning on YouTube or learning on our website. That's just kind of us. That's what we do with our Facebook pages. It's a blatant advertisement of our school because that's where, we have, I think that we have this gold sterling of art lessons. I mean, really, our school is so fantastic, and the personal art coaching is great. I mean, just today I answered about 15 art coaching emails, and I don't just write and say, gosh, I think you should have used more blue. I send in an illustrated example of what I think you ought to do. Sometimes someone will send back to me 2 or 3 times, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I'm going, yeah, that's great. And other times I'll just say, that is so great. I like it better than mine. You did great. And so it isn't always just a critique of something. It's just you get an outside pair of eyes looking at it. It's really worthwhile. And we charge our regular members $24.95 a month, $19.95 for seniors. And like I say, we've got
Well, now let's mention those prices are going up on January 1.
They're going up on January 1. So now's the time to take advantage of it. All right. I think we need something down in here, John. Right down in here.
Let me back out to that view. Let's take a look at it.
I think we need a few. I think I needed a few, so I can take my brown branches, right? Ooh, that wasn't. So what you've got to really look at what you're doing, Ginger. It's a key.
That wasn't even close to brown with all that.
It was not. I got into the yellow. It's all right. That's all right. I'll fix it. Now I want to come down in here like this, and add a few little ones coming down off this way. Sound effects are good. Do you like my sound effects?
Oh, gotta have sound effects.
You gotta have sound effects.
It brings it all together.
Well, because we don't really play any music. It's weird. We don't really have any music on these shows because, if you play the wrong music, then you get all these letters from YouTube, and then you have to explain why it's okay to have the music, and then they go, oh yeah, that was okay music, but you're never sure, and then, unless you want to buy it from them. So generally, our stuff is, for the time being, is pretty much music free.
The senior is for 60 and above, or a veteran. And the prices are going up about 10%. For the seniors, it's going to be like $21.95 instead of the $19.95, and $26.95 for the regular folk. If you are a current member and stay current, you will be grandfathered in at your current price. We don't.
Yeah, no matter what we do.
Yeah, we're not raising anybody's current memberships.
Yeah, everybody that's the main thing. If you always keep your membership, then you'll never pay more than whatever you signed up for. If you don't
if you
let it
stay
drop.
current, but if you drop and come back, you'll have to come back in at the newer price.
And we can't guarantee personal art coaching at the newer price either, because there's a limit to how much of that we can do. Right now we still have spots open, and this is why we're encouraging people to come by and consider getting the year's membership, because you get these downloadable lessons. If you get a year's membership, an annual membership for seniors, only $200. You get like 2 months free. Plus, you get a downloadable video, one a month.
So you have 12 of those.
You have 12 of those. That's a huge. We had a lot of people to realize that was just like the deal of the century. Now I'm going to lower this.
Let me just repeat one more time that the prices will only go up to new members or people that have not kept the current. If you're current now and you stay current when the new year starts, you're fine. But if you drop out and then come back, you'll come back at the newer rate. And we do have that yearly special going on now, as Ginger was alluding to. Go to the website and check that out. Especially if you're interested in the Wave and Water, if you get the Wave and Water and the video lesson library and you're senior, that's like $400, I believe. But you get 24 downloads through the year. That would more than less. That you basically were giving the lessons for free, if you do the math on it. So something to keep in mind as it's coming to the end of the year. And
maybe you know someone that would like this for Christmas. And
we have gift certificates.
Yeah,
one thing we'd like to mention is we had a Secret Santa, and we really appreciate this, who said they would like to buy 2 7-day memberships and give them away to somebody in need, and we appreciate that as a Secret Santa.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to do that, we'd be happy to help you do that as well.
Yeah, Secret Santa, and that's kind of nice. Sometimes it's nice that people just need a leg up, to just start, and then once, it can be really helpful. And honestly, from our lessons, people ask me, is it okay if I sell the paintings? Sure, sell them. Absolutely. All right. Do you see my little berries now?
Your berries look nice. Now you got to add some color to them, right? I mean, they're very flat.
Now we've got to dry them and do coat 2.
Oh, here we go.
Dry them and do coat 2. All right. Okay.
Go ahead. What is the price for a senior for 19? Pam, if you could go to the website, I don't know it offhand, and I'm afraid to bring up another screen. gingercooklive.gallery, or if you just put Ginger Cook Live in Google, you'll find us. Very reasonable, though. We have that special going on right now, and like I said, you get those extra downloads. It's great. I personally would sign up if I had the time. Okay, she's back.
All right, so now this is where people never, with reds. Reds are, I'm going to take some Cad Red Medium now, and I'm going to hit some of these front berries just like this. Do just kind of maybe between.
So you just laying it right on top of that
right,
one?
Between 12 o'clock, if it was a circle, and say 6 on the left, crossing over 9 o'clock. How's that? Yeah, I'm just going to touch it. Just kind of get that. Can you see what I'm doing here? And then this is the Cad Red Medium. But some of these front ones are going to be a little brighter.
And what was the other red you had before?
That was that Naphtha Crimson, your regular red.
Okay, the regular red.
Yeah, and then some of these, it's just the second coat of Cad Red.
Cindy's asking a good question. If you join up, you have to get the download by a certain time of the month. No. Basically, you can get one a month. You can save them all up until the very end. They all have to be cashed in by December 31st of next year. So if you want to get all 12 in December, that's fine. We're not that mean. Come on, we're artists.
We're artists. We understand that you want to see next November, because we're going to put up new downloadables every month, and maybe we're going
to be adding a lot to that library.
And also, regular members get 20 to 40% off any of our downloadable videos, and some of them start as low as $4.95 and go up to $40 or more. I'm telling you what, we've got some beautiful videos, and we're making, now that we've got these cameras, a fourth one's on order. Now we've got these cameras available. I'm into red now again, just the Naphtha Crimson as I go back up here. Now we've got these cameras ready to be able to shoot these large pictures. Some of our tutorials, gosh, we did one for the Wave and Water. It was 14 30 to 40 minute segments. I mean, we're not fooling around here. If you want to see how to paint something, we will show you. Absolutely show you. All right, so now I'm going to just, can you see that pretty well? I'm going to dry that one more time, John.
All right, she's drying. Let me answer a couple more questions. When the membership special renew at the same price, next year we're not sure. It depends on what our costs are going to happen. And does this apply to the monthly subscriptions? The downloadable does not. The downloadable is only for yearly memberships. And yes, you can gift a downloadable if you don't use it. You just let us know what you'd want to do, who you want to send it to, and we'll take care of that for you. I think I answered all those. I hope I did. If not, please ask again or go to our website and use the Contact Us. Looks like Ginger's back with us. Let's zoom back out for a second.
Oh, isn't that looking nice, you guys?
I think it's looking primo. You're going for the flames? Or are you going for the top flame?
Yeah, we're going to go for the top flame.
Okay, keep going down. Keep going down. Keep going. And then here you guys will be able to see on the side. Keep going. Did I tell her to stop?
Do you not love this electric
There we
whistle?
go.
Is that
right
not
there.
cool?
That's perfect.
Somewhere in here is a brush. Ah. Now, you know when you rinse a brush, you should be touching the bottom of your container. I want to just show my container.
Wait a minute.
In all the years I was painting.
Wait, hold it.
What?
I got to put you back.
Put me back. All right. In all the years I've been painting, I've never bought a container. I always used just an old bucket or something, right?
Where'd you get that bucket from?
Well, Jerry sells them, but so does Hobby Lobby under a different name. I don't know where they got them, but they're great. They're 3 compartments. They're kind of rough on the bottom. This thing will hold brushes. I love these. They're really nice. I got to say, I love those. And again, I just would never buy anything like that, but those I find extremely helpful. And you want to make sure you're touching the bottom, and then what you do is you wipe off your brush.
Oh, but wait, then you're back.
I'm back. It's okay. I can do this right here.
Oh.
Using a towel. Make sure, this is why this towel is full of paint. Find a clean spot and make sure you don't have any color on it. Now, we're going to take some white and a tiny bit of white and a little bit of cad red, cad yellow medium, white. And what we want to come up here is we're going to just go ahead and start this flame going like this, up here like this, and into the candle like that.
Oh, we had one question. Does one have to pay the annual subscription price all at once? Yes. Yes. Otherwise, it'd be a monthly.
Yeah, but you can buy 3 months for a gift certificate.
And Sue says there's approximately 200 lessons in the library. Folks are close to 250 now. And we will start retiring some of them and make them only for sale. Some of the other ones as we start replacing them because they're being tough. It's getting tough to go through them all for any user. We'll probably stop at 300 as an active number and then start retiring some. But it'll still be available in the downloadables.
And of course, the back to basics we want to always keep up. The beginning lessons we will always keep up, and we add new beginning lessons because, when you first come in.
Oh, so you're on the totally different candle that we're not seeing.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
You already did them both. Can you erase them and redo them?
No.
Theoretically, you could, though, couldn't you?
I could if I dried this. Yes. I'm sorry. It's the same thing, really, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm just going to add a little bit more white to this one. Got a little bit yellow. Maybe just touch a little white in the middle. See, these angle brushes are so perfect for this. And let's just pull a little of this light here. Then I'm going to come around on this one. Wipe the brush off.
Ooh, Robin, that's gross. I wish this buckets had covers. My cat drinks the paint water.
Well.
I don't think that's really good.
No, I tell you what, I had a cat that was a very wonderful cat, and I had a squirt gun, and I taught the cat I'd say no, and then I would squirt it with a little bit of water, right? And the cat never figured out how that happened, and then all I had to do was say no, and it expected water, and it just jumped right down from anything. Just worked really well, a little tiny bit of water. We only had to do that for about a month. Then after that, no was all it ever took.
Going back to the top, I assume?
Yeah, I want a little bit of white in here. See, I want a little bit more white here on the candle here, just a little highlight here.
Like it's glowing, sure.
Yeah, a little bit of glow here, a little bit maybe coming under here like this, a little bit of glow.
We are working on a catalog for the paintings. We're going to try to do something different. Category, yeah, definitely. We know it's a nightmare.
It's
Still,
not
I
a
think
nightmare.
300
It's
is a lot to do.
wonderful.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
It's great. No, it isn't, John. Let's put a positive spin on it. We have no nightmares.
Oh, it's a
at
wonderful
Ginger Cook.
site. Absolutely
We have
perfect.
no nightmares at GingerCookLive.com.
No nightmares.
That's what are you talking about, right? There are no nightmares.
Nothing but
here.
sweet dreams from us.
That's right. I'm telling you what. Nothing but sweet dreams from us. Okay, now here's what we're going to do.
I bet you're going back to the berries.
We're going to go back to the berries. Now, you could take the back of your brush like this, just the back of the brush, and then you just... I want to go between, not in the center, between 12 o'clock and maybe 3 o'clock, you know, because that's the light's coming from the candles. So it's coming that way, right? So between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, somewhere you want the light. See how I'm just taking the back of my brush and adding those highlights? How cool is that? And I might even want to put a little bit of yellow with the white. Try that. Not have them all so bright. There you go. A little bit of light here.
Ginger, your recent class on making a paint journal was awesome.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. That is so helpful to do that. I'll tell you what, people will take lessons from me, you know, here in Houston, right? And I get everybody started off on a paint journal, and then about a year later, are you doing your paint journal? No. Okay, well, but I can't remember how I did the background. Gosh, I know it's like folding socks. It takes a little more work, but apparently you can find them in the drawer when you're finished. I'm not that I'm a sock folder, but I can understand the principle that you might want to fold socks, and you sure want to make these art journals. I'm telling you what.
I would certainly want to do it.
It gives you a record. Sometimes people will want to take a new painting. Say you've worked on this, say you do this painting, right?
Oh,
it's pretty nice.
Ginger, what lighting do you suggest as a lamp? We use daylight fluorescent bulbs. You want to be a daylight. Ultimately, you want to have your painting painted under the same light it's going to be viewed under. And when in doubt, use daylight. More and more, there's daylight bulbs available.
Yeah, and you know what? They never go on sale. So that's when you use those 40% off coupons, guys. I never see those stupid lights on sale.
No.
They want a fortune for those dumb light bulbs. So this is where when Hobby Lobby or one of those places said it's 40% off anything in the store, go grab one of those expensive light bulbs. Things that, I should make a list of things I never see anybody ever put on sale in an art store, One thing I never see on sale is triangles and T-squares. Those are good things to buy with your coupons. Of course, sometimes, they'll always put an easel on sale. I don't know why, but certain things, brushes go on sale. I've seen brushes at Jerry's for 90% off. Say a brush like this, I've seen a brush like this for up to 90% off. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a shopper, and I just feel if you can afford a 90% off sale, your markup must be really big, right? I'm just going, how much did surely you can't be willing to lose that much money. I mean, but, sometimes that's the time. Sales are a good time to buy things.
I have another question, John. If you're already a member, do you have to change to the yearly special rate? If you're a current member and you want to take advantage of the yearly rate, just give us a contact us and let me see when your renewal is, and we can switch you over. You want to do it before the 31st, because like I said, prices go up on the 1st.
But you can certainly keep your current subscription.
Or you can keep your and it won't go up.
And we'll grandfather the price in for you, for sure.
Yeah, as long as you stay current.
You're our friend. You stayed with us in the beginning. We appreciate you very much. We want you to know that. We appreciate you guys. You hung in with us when you're going, we just had a few videos up and you said, all right, they said they're going to add a bunch, and they did, and you hung on with us, and we really can't tell you how much we appreciate that. And John and I really, truly do. So thank you very much for those you guys have this. You're always thanking, everybody's been thanking me for the videos, but I got to thank you for the, just putting a few more here, just using the back of my brush here too. Somebody asked how to do that, but here, see, I'm just taking the back of this brush and just making a few more like that.
How did John and Ginger hook up together to collaborate making these videos?
That's kind of cool. I have been teaching at Jerry's Artorama for almost 7 years before they moved downtown, and teaching art lessons. And a good friend of mine, Mark Kessler, was teaching kids in there. You guys remember him from PBS. And he would watch me teach, and he said, "You are the best art teacher in all the years I've been for painting that I have observed anywhere. And he told me that. He says, I just can't imagine. Your students all learn. What you do is fantastic. He was really impressed with the results I was getting, not just the fact that, I mean, look, it's all very well that I can paint, and, you know, it might be entertaining to watch, but the trick is, can this happen for you? And the deal is, if you do what I'm doing today, yeah, you can make this work. So anyway, Mark said, would you like to, let's see, zoom back out there for me, will you, John? Let me see where I am with this, okay?
Got you covered, boss. And zooming.
So anyway, Mark said, would you like to come
nice.
and, isn't this pretty?
That's
And
really looking good.
I think we need a couple branches coming this way, just coming this way, maybe coming forward like this. I want to bring one down here like this and just connect it. He said, he says, I've been teaching online a drawing class. Would you like to come be part of be the artist that teaches painting? Because you are the most effective a painting teacher I've ever seen. You know, there's a lot of wonderful artists. Please, don't claim to be the best artist in the world. Though I certainly won a lot of awards for being kind of a #1 acrylic artist. But the thing is if I can explain it to you, that's my gift. I think my gift is that I have a way of explaining it where you can do it. And that's exciting to me, that you can do it. And I think I need a few more berries right in here. Do you see this little spot in here? And we're almost done. So you can see, and this is what you want to do. You want to get back, maybe look at your picture in a mirror. Do you guys know to do that? So anyway, John had been working for Mark Kessler for 17 years. You know, running his...
Like forever.
Forever, right? And when he first met me, I can barely turn on a computer. You know what I mean? I didn't do Facebook. I didn't do any of that stuff. And I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You know, I mean, this is tricky. And so John said in the most calm voice I've ever heard, I said, I don't know if I can do this. He says, we can do anything. And I believed you. I says, really? Really? Because that's what it took for me, because it was just, and there was a learning curve, just like anything. There was a learning curve on how to do these videos and how to, turn the computers on to get the lights. And sometimes I'd do a whole video and forget the sound. I mean, it was just crazy. There, I think that looks pretty good. I'd say, Houston, we have liftoff. We have a liftoff. And now the thing right in here, right, what I want to do, see, because that's a little thin. This is why I love acrylics. I'm going to come back, as you recall, with the original colors. Do you guys remember what they were? Anybody? What we did the background on? We had, don't all shout it out at once.
I'm not sure we wrote it down in our art journal.
You don't think you wrote it down in your art journal? Because let's see, we had ultramarine blue, and we had burnt umber, and I have the burnt umber. That's the purple. Oh, we had some purple too, didn't we? No, we had burnt umber. Where'd that go?
We had some burnt umber.
Yeah, here it is. Burnt umber and ultramarine blue, which I'm sort of out of, right? So I'm going to put some more out. I'm going to take a little ultramarine blue, little burnt umber, mix it up, mostly burnt umber, tiny bit of ultramarine blue, okay? Now I need to come back in here like this, just in a couple places in here, and just kind of clean this up a bit where I might have needed some more paint, maybe just a little bit here and there. Now, because you're using the same colors, this will all blend in, and when it dries, it'll all blend in here. So that's why I'm doing it this way. You can, if you know your background color,
that's another reason to do the art journal.
Yeah, just then you can come back, and later, if somebody nicks your painting, you dropped it, you nicked it, or you had something happen to it, and you need to fix it. Okay.
And yes, this lesson will stay up.
It's just going to stay up. It's going to stay up. But I really would hope you would come over to our gallery, check out what we're doing. Again, if you want a more detailed version of this lesson, even though it's very small, again, that's part of this little one over here, which I'm going to put right here. This little one right here is on our website. And, and gingercooklive.gallery is part of the over 200 lessons we've got that you can, again, get some more instruction if you feel like I didn't, we got to jacking about other things, talking about this and that, maybe didn't get as much explanation as you would have liked. And feel free, we can do more. And I feel like I still want a little bit more right around the edge here, John, just a second coat here, just on the edge of this canvas now. See what I'm doing? Just a very small, right here on the edge.
Yeah.
Very tiny now. This is pretty bright.
Just kind of framing it in now.
Just kind of framing it in now, like this is bright cad red medium. I don't want it to go out too far. But see, here we go.
Did Ginger teach the art Sherpa to paint?
Did Ginger teach the art Sherpa to paint? Well, Cinnamon's my daughter, and she did paint with me as a kid, All right. She will tell you that she got very few art lessons from me. She went to an awfully good art college, and she studied art, and she won all kinds of awards. I got to tell you, Cinema was art and architecture of the school. Won architecture and artist of the year at school. She won all kinds of awards with her painting. When she was a kid, I tell you what, when she was a kid, she was winning. She was published. By the time she was 14, she was published in she was doing all kinds of great stuff. She went to a school for exceptionally bright kids, for gifted children, and she did some beautiful artwork. I should show you some of the artwork that she did as a child. Cinnamon has always been a marvelous artist, and she watched me paint. And of course, I probably showed her some things, but she would tell you that for the most part, kids never want to listen to their parents. Somebody else always knows it more. It doesn't really matter where you get your information. She got some from me, but probably a lot from other people. And what I love about Cinnamon, when she went to art college, she has a great vocabulary, art vocabulary, and she can go into any gallery and go yakky, and they're also impressed. Because I'm impressed. I want her to come talk. For instance, she's been very helpful for me over the years in just talking to people about art, and she will sit there and she can articulate more about my artwork than I can. It's really interesting.
Who was on YouTube first, Ginger or Cinnamon?
Well, technically, I was on YouTube first because years ago, I did this painting, video called Acrylic Secrets. Had it for sale on Amazon for a while, and the lady that made it with me, it was her site, not mine, but she put this. We put up the one How to Stretch a Fine Art Canvas, and she left it on there for it was on there for 6 years. We had 750,000 views on that. We still have it on our channel. And then she, for whatever reason, which I will just say, whatever reason, she took it down. She took it down, and I had no way to get those views back. Okay. And so we have that video up on our website with a very few views, but at one time it was the #1 video on YouTube on how to stretch a fine art canvas. Just saying. Okay, and it's still on our channel. And so I was technically the first, and then Cinnamon actually, after that, she went up there. She's been on YouTube. And I mean, she was the one that did Pinterest first and said, "Mother, you got to do Pinterest." I said, "I don't want to do Pinterest. Just one more thing. Really, seriously, I have one more thing to do." "Oh, you got to do Pinterest." Because now we put our students' artwork up on our student board up on Pinterest. And if you send me your artwork in, I if it's okay to use your name, I put your artwork up on our Pinterest board. And we kind of brag on you, kind of our brag stuff. And I tell you what our newest lessons are going to be on Pinterest. I have some, if I find a neat arts book or something, I'll put that on Pinterest under books you think you might want. So I try to keep up with my Pinterest board, and I do Facebook, which, boy, Cinnamon really had to talk me into that. Because I'm a busy person. It just seemed like one more thing to do. But now you see me on Facebook. And honestly, this is, I got to tell you guys, do you like our picture? This is kind of our picture. It took us, I don't know.
2 hours.
2 hours, sorry. It took us a while. Right, well, 7:30.
Another hour meeting. Hey, we figured out how to keep live for over an hour.
Here's the thing. I mean, it just takes so long to paint something. I hate to tell you, but it just does. If you're going to get it in real time and watch and stuff. But anyway, so back to John to finish it. So John and I became, business partners, and now we're doing this.
Doing this.
It just took
and
us a
having
while.
a ball doing it.
And we're having and we work very well together because we think a lot alike. And he's the technical end, and he'll notice I have paint on my face and mention it and stuff like that. Real helpful things.
Yeah, very important stuff.
Important stuff, right? Important stuff. But don't you think this is a great holiday picture to hang up now? Isn't that pretty? And it doesn't, and you can leave it up into the new year.
Oh, absolutely.
You absolutely could, right? And it didn't take that much. You certainly didn't need the paint that I did. Now, I want to tell you a secret about this paint. Shoot down to my paint for a minute, John.
I can do that. There we go.
All right. So when you use a canvas pad like this, about this size, whatever the size is.
Looks like 8.5 by 11 or 9 by 12.
All right, 8.5 by 11. This fits perfectly into one of those plastic cake domes at the grocery store for a half sheet of cake. And there's a little groove around it, and you put the dome over it. I'll buy one next week, and I'll show you guys. Because you're going to miss the paint, because there's a lot left here, and you put a dome over it and click it into place, and if you buy the cake, you can eat the cake. Eat the cake.
Some people can eat the cake.
Some people can eat the cake. Well, there's been this, there's been these issues. I was in the hospital last Sunday again at 3 a.m. for a while, with some odd complications from the surgery with the gallbladder. And I got to tell you, this is funny. This is really good. So they've taken this CAT scan of me, this woman, and
the one that slices and dices.
Slices and dices. They show you every bit of you all sliced up. It's really disgusting. All of
I
that,
think it's
right?
cool.
I know, it just depends, and who's being sliced and diced, John. But probably cool if it was you. For me, it's a little disgusting. It's all your parts and little pieces. And so the woman's wheeling me back. I'm lying on the gurney there, and she's wheeling me back to where John's waiting for me and the doctor to see the results of this. And as she parts and goes, she goes, "Good luck." Hey, good luck for what?
Yeah, what do you mean good luck?
Come back. Wait, don't leave.
Wait, are you seeing something we didn't see? What's going on? What's the story? Good luck. Good luck. What are you, crazy?
Who says that in a hospital? I was just shocked. Good luck, honestly.
Good luck.
But I'm going to say happy holidays. What do you think?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. That's lovely. You have a good voice. I don't try to sing.
Oh, who would? Not me.
Yeah. But anyway, hope this was fun. Do you guys like this live session? This is Learn to Paint with Ginger on Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, likes and comments. Be sure you're subscribing to our channel. Likes and comments help us be seen. When you share these videos, this really helps us. We're the mouse that roared out here. Ginger Cook Live on YouTube. But nobody ever, we're really small when you think about it. Yes, we have about 24,000 subscribers, and we really appreciate that. But in the overall scheme of things, our videos don't show up as much when people are looking to learn to paint. So anytime you share them or tell other people about them, that really helps us, and we appreciate it very much. What can you, and tell people about our art school. Maybe you can't join, but tell others. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, and have a good night. And remember, this stays up. YouTube has to process it, and it takes it a while. But after that, it will be here. Good night, everyone.